What is up, everybody? My name is Will, and welcome back to the channel. So today, we're back working on the Vega, the most amazing car ever. So last time, we put in rear brake lines, got all that situated, bolted in, and if you guys haven't seen that, go back and find it, watch it. You can watch some of the absurd things that I do. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to put the front brake lines in and try to get that all buttoned up and figured out. So yeah, they're down there somewhere. We'll find them, figure them out, and we'll get the new ones all put in and hopefully be ready to start doing front brakes next time, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is, since it's been a minute since I've been in this engine bay, we're gonna knock all the cobwebs out, because there's, you probably can't see them, but there's a bunch here and down in here and over there and there. So we'll do that quick, and then we'll start laying out our brake lines and figure out what we need to take off or where I need to start digging for a line and that kind of stuff. So let's go. Well, so now that we got all the cobwebs out and whatever, we'll start laying out lines and figure out where I need to go, what I need. But problem is, there's the three little tiny lines way back in there. And yes, I could just grab that box and rip it open, but who got time for that? The box is already open. So, this can only go great. Ha! I was only 10% worried that I was going to dump that out and they were going to explode everywhere. So anyways, you more? Well, nope. There we go. So we got those. So basically what we're going to do is find that little guy, this one, and then that guy. Which, seems easy, but got that, all this, just an engine here. So we'll find it and we'll start just ripping it out of there. This can only end well. So after trying to crank on the two brake lines for all of 3 seconds and feeling the distribution blocks flex and move around, I think what I'm going to do is cut, I hope you guys can see this, but this line, which goes across the car, over there somewhere, and then I'll cut this little guy, which goes to that wheel. And then hopefully I can get these two cut, which will save me from putting weird loads into my master cylinder and, potentially breaking lines and that kind of stuff. Since these are the old lines, I really don't feel that bad about cutting them. So we'll do that, and then it'll make it easier for me to try and break the fittings loose from the distribution block. And I think the block is okay. If I have to buy a new one, we'll do it. But I'm gonna try not to, and we'll see. Plus, all this stuff is only a little rusty, Not a big deal. For being a Southern car, it's done pretty good. Much better than these great old Northern cars that got good old nature's weight reduction. So yeah. Anyways, so I'll get those lines cut, get the block out, and we'll start feeding lines and fishing stuff and moving on that way. Well, turns out I was wrong. I got 2 of them out, so we're just gonna cut the other 2 because I got nothing. Other than that, I don't really want to break them off. Gotcha. Oh. Turns out, I didn't need to take that bolt loose, the one that goes here. I could have just taken that one loose. Yeah, well. Another bracket to marvel at. And pro tip, if you ever don't want to forget where your fasteners go, like this little nut that I just pulled off, thread it back on and put bolts back through holes that they came out of, so when you're putting it together, you just have to deal with it. Like so. That way, at least if you forget how it goes together, you'll have fasteners and you can throw them at kids, windows, kind of whatever you want to do with it, because, parts left over equals lighter car, because race car. Just saying. Anyways, so now we got the distribution block all freed up and out of where it was. We'll go through and take all the lines off of it and start putting these two new short ones on. and start fishing the other two out of the car. Actually, scratch that. We'll pull the other two out of the car, then we'll deal with this thing. The location of this bolt was awesome. Unfortunately, put a V-shaped engine with 2 extra cylinders in here. For those of you that don't know, this car actually came with an inline 4-cylinder that was notoriously garbage. Do some googling, you'll see. But yeah, this bolt just is kind of a pain. This point that I realized that trying to put this Brakeline in is going to be a pain in the butt. Gotta try and feed it down and around and through where it really shouldn't go. Try not to ruin it and everything else. Yeah. Come on. It's gonna be an adventure. Tell you what. Woo! I should probably watch which end is touching the battery terminal and which end isn't. That was a little scary. Alright, so there we go. So I got all the lines out of the distribution block, as you can see. So this guy came out pretty easily. This one, not so much. It got rounded off at some point on the hexes. So what I ended up doing was grabbing a vice grip, grabbing onto the hex part that was stripped or rolled off, and ended up literally stomping on it to get it to break loose from the threads. So now that they're all off, we can go and put this back in the car and start to plumb all the lines back to it, or I should say just thread them back in. I think the only one that I'm kind of worried about is the one over here, excuse me, which is the right front that I had to, thread through the engine bay. That one, the line actually looks like it might not be bent in the correct way, so I'll have to check it out, and I may have to grab my tube bender and make it fit for what I need. Otherwise, I think everything else should thread up or fit right up, and we should be good to go. So here we go, trying. Alrighty, so that's in, that's in. Yeah, like I was saying, this is the line coming over from the right front of the car, and it's supposed to go into this port, but it's not really where it should be. So what I think I'll do is I'll grab my tube bender and probably add some bend here, and then readjust the end of it so it lines up with my distribution block, and then we'll move on with life. So before I bend this, I just gotta say, do I recommend bending your lines that are supposed to be bent correctly from wherever you get them? No, I do not. But sometimes you gotta do things in order to make it work. So for the most part, this line does work and will fit pretty perfectly. But like I was saying, this end is just not quite where it should be. So we'll make some modifications to it here in a second with my tube bending pliers thingy, and we'll move on with life. Thingy that was here, it's now way down there. So yeah, things are going great. Now I gotta go find that thing. Yeah. Alright, so there we go, guys. I got all of the brake lines finally connected to the master and the distribution block down there, and they all seem to look pretty good. So I'm gonna call it good for there. I'll probably end up off camera tightening everything down, and we'll see what else happens. But my camera's about dead, and this job's almost done. So appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out, and checking out this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to keep up with all the amazingness that's happening on this beautiful vehicle I call the Vega. With that, I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy. Have fun out there. Bye.